found it a crazy idea that it's now Mr. Juncker's fault that there is a Brexit. I thought that it was more or less an internal catfight inside the Conservative Party who is the reason for this Brexit. It's crazy how you can do that and then blame this House here that it is the cause of it. But that said, I welcome the contribution from the Commission, and I'm certainly welcoming, Mr. Juncker, your introduction, because you have made mention of the founding fathers, Spinelli. I could add Paul-Henri Spaak to it. I could add Henrik von Brantano, founding father of the German Grundgesetz, to it. I could add Monet, Schumann. I could even add Winston Churchill to it, because from 1946 to 1951, it's a part that has been forgotten by Mr. Boris Johnson in this biography of Winston Churchill. He was the leader of European integration and of a future European Union. And that said, I think it's important to recognize one thing here. Before we go to Rome, Mr. President, for the festivities, that is that what we want today will be something different as the Treaty of Rome. Because the Treaty of Rome was a customs union, was maybe the right answer in 57, but let's be honest, it's not the answer of the challenges we are facing today. And I think it was very important to talk about the Founding Fathers because they had more ambition than only the Treaty of Rome. The Treaty of Rome was a fallback option, a fallback solution, because they were not capable, because of the no vote in the French National Assembly, to make a defense union, to make a political union, to make an economic union. And I think it's wise to remember what they wanted after the Second World War. That's to create a union that is capable, decisive. But let's be honest, what is our problem today? And you find it in your 5 scenarios. You have given 5 scenarios, but what I remember from your introduction is that the first 3 we can forget. Let's talk about 4 and 5. And I think it's a right decision to make. But let's be honest, what is lacking in the European Union of today? Why we are not capable to stabilize our neighborhood? Because we have no capabilities to do so. Why we are not capable really to find solutions for the migration crisis and the refugee crisis? Because we have no capabilities to do so on the European level. Why we are not capable to find and to clean up our banks? 8 years after the Lehman Brothers. 8 years after them, we are still facing problems with a non-fulfilled banking union, with no recovery fund, and so on. Why? Because we have no European capacities and capabilities. And why, finally, we have no big companies on the internet who are European. If you talk about Apple, by Microsoft, by Amazon, by Samsung, they are all American. They are all Asian. Why? Because we have not a completed digital market in the European Union. No European capacities, as for example, as you do a European telecom authority or digital authority, as you propose in your 4th scenario. That is the lesson. We are still a loose confederation of nation states based on the unanimity rule. And if there is one country who is blocking, and you know it better than I do, both being member for a long time of the European Council, if one member is saying no, we apply the unanimity rule and we are not going forward in the necessity. Too little, too late. And that is the consequence of the absence of European capacities and European capabilities that we desperately need. And so we don't need to start to say, is it 4, is it 5, or is it 3? Not 3, because the different circles in the European Union, we know it already. We have 50 exceptions in the European budget. There are 50 different circles that we have in the European Union. The question is now how we can overcome that. How for once we can convince the European leaders on the national level to do the jump forward we desperately need. That is the question. And therefore our proposal from the Parliament, in our papers and in the reports that have been discussed and approved 2 weeks ago, That is to start an interinstitutional reflection. It's we not alone who can decide on this. You cannot alone decide from your side, from the Commission. The Council can not even do that. Maybe they have not even the inspiration to do that. So our plea is, Mr. President of the Commission, that is to back our proposal for an interinstitutional reflection from day one, from now on. So that we're not only talking about Brexit here in this House, but that we open also an offensive, positive, optimistic reform of the Union in parallel with the Brexit. And that it is not only a negative story of one country leaving us, but at least also a story of 27 who know that their destiny in the future will be in unity, together in the European Union. Thank you very much.